Welcome to Opening the Door to the Unknown with your host, Dr. Clark Schmidt. Hello, and welcome to Opening the Door to the Unknown. I'm your host, Dr. Clark Schmidt. Have you ever had that feeling in your mind that somebody was watching you, maybe from over there, maybe from that direction, or that direction, maybe behind you, or how about right in front of you? I'm going to be talking about ghosts, spectres, phantoms, and elementals. Earth, air, fire, water, the scythes, the gnomes, the salamanders, and the undies. And how they can make contact with you through the spirit box, the telephone, yes, phone calls from the dead, voice recorders, still cameras, IR cameras. Maybe you might feel something that has slightly touched you on your cheek, or maybe on your arm, your leg, your shoulder, or feeling like there's something crawling up the back of your neck, or something with playing with your hair, or maybe the smell of pipe tobacco, perfume, cigarettes, maybe even food, or maybe hearing strange footsteps at night that you can't account for, a door slamming with no wind to cause it to slam, or maybe a pounding or a rapping on the desk or on the counter. Maybe a pan being dropped onto the floor. Many ways, and I have not even spoken of two yet, of communication with ghosts, spectres, phantoms, and the elementals. Why do they want to contact us? Maybe they just want to let us know if they're relatives or guides, teachers, master teachers. Maybe they want us to know that they're around, that they are watching us, protecting us. Or maybe maybe a spirit just kind of passed through and just saying is, hello, I'm here, but I'm leaving now. Gotta remember is that spirit was housed in a human body before the body decided to take that nap. And maybe that spirit that was housed in the body was nice, gentle, friendly. You have like a dog coming up to you. You don't know where the dog came from, but it's wagging its tail and it's so happy to see you until you find out that it does have an owner that's trailing right behind. And then sometimes you have dogs that just want to bark, maybe just want to bark, is that showing that's how they know how to communicate with you, by saying hello. And then you have other dogs that just want to bite you because they're just plain mean. Well, you also have mean spirit as well. You might call them the people who had issues when they were over on this, when they were residing on this plane of existence, and others were classified as criminal spirits. But they all want to interreact. Okay, they all want to interreact. Just like humans want to interreact. We are a species of animal that has to make friends to become healthy. Yet there are those who never want to make friends. They want to be what they call is the hermit. Just like in the tarot card, or just like for astrology, as Cancer, the crab. Talking about phone calls from the dead, is that D. Scott Rogel, who was a parapsychologist and psychologist, wrote a book back in the early 70s by the same title, Phone Calls from the Dead. And he talked to people that actually had that experience of somebody calling, and all he did when they answered is that that the person on the other end who was making the call just breathed heavy. Sometimes they tried to speak, but it was like a whisper. So with the people that he talked to, he decided to write the book because it was possible for a spirit to make that type of communication. What about the Ouija board? Now, a lot of people say, oh my God, if you play with the Ouija board, you're going to have problems with evil, with demons. Demons are going to try to make the contact. They're going to open up those doors. Got to remember about demons. I played with the Ouija board. Oh, I even made my own until I got my mother to consent for me to buy a Parker Brothers board, and we had a lot of fun. Got a lot of strange answers, but a lot of people don't realize is that the Ouija board is a takeoff from automatic handwriting. This is where in automatic handwriting is that you sit at your desk, you have a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper, and you just let your mind go, and you just start to make like circles. Oops, I don't think if you can. Okay, like that. Okay, just start. Just start to make circles, and let your mind go. And before long, you begin to write. Well, spirit has taken over your hand, your wrist, and start to write in its own handwriting. And this has been proven. So actually, the Ouija board is nothing but a finer implement for automatic handwriting. In the Chinese, only used the planchette. That's the piece that you put your fingers on and let it slide against the board. And what they did is they took the planchette, put a pen, and dipped it in ink, and then put the pen or the quill and let it do its writing as you were moving the planchette around a piece of paper. Again, that was another form of automatic handwriting. So again, there are many ways for spirit to make contact. And I said I didn't mention two as of yet, but that's going to come up here shortly. So, are you afraid of ghosts? Have you really had an experience with shadows, spectres, phantoms? I know I have. And I relish every time that it happens. I get more thrilled. I become more enthralled, knowing as that spirit is trying to contact me. And it might be my guides, my teachers, my master teachers, or it might be my mother, my dad, my wife, or relatives that have died centuries ago. I have no idea. But I know is that they're around me all the time. All the time they're around me. Even though that I do not make connection with them all the time like a lot of people do. And there's really nothing wrong with that. Because a lot of times you like to be left alone. You know, just have one of those days, I don't want to be bothered with anybody. I don't want anybody calling me. I don't want anybody knocking at my door. I just want to be left alone. Then other days you say, oh God, I got to go and see, or I got to go and visit, and I hope that so-and-so calls, or I hope so-and-so stops over, or maybe I'll go and have a couple of drinks at the bar, and maybe I'll meet so-and-so and buy them a drink. So we get our moods. Well, it's like spirit. They get their moods too. It's like if they be contacted all the time and all the time, you know, they get teed off, and they tell you sometimes in no uncertain terms. It might be with words when you're on the spirit, when you're working with the spirit box. One of them might just say, "Fuck you, leave me alone. Go away. Don't want to talk now." And should understand that. You know, it's just not the time. So I don't contact my guides, teachers, master teachers, my mother or dad or my wife, or relatives that have gone on. When I do, I get some great results. Sometimes it can be from the spirit box. Sometimes I might go into deep meditation, go into trance, and through telepathy, contact and am contacted. Or, as I mentioned before, two other ways. Okay? The first way that I have not mentioned yet. Okay? I had a friend that was a trance medium, a physical, I should really say a physical trance medium. And I used to go, and he would call me every few weeks and say that he was going to have like a spirit circle. And so I knew the people who were going to be there because we were just one group. If somebody else wanted to come in, they could, but it was like because the spirits already knew our energies. It wasn't that hard for this trance medium to go into deep trance, to where all of a sudden spirit would come in and talk through the trumpet or through direct voice, um, or with the trumpet. Sometimes they had a lot of fun. Sometimes spirit had a lot of fun with the trumpets. To whiz them around the room and make them go up and down and side to side, or while they're laughing and whatever. Anyways, I got this call from this friend, and he said is that he was having somebody that he knew from Camp Chesterfield out of Illinois come and visit for a few days, and that he wanted to put on a séance. So I said, yeah, great, why not? I got nothing to do, and this was on a Friday night. And the regular crowd was there, and so this friend of mine introduced this other trance physical medium, and his name was Hoyt. And his forte was something I heard about, but I never saw. I read about it, and I heard about it. And that was letting spirit use inks on a piece of cloth. And I said, Hoyt, can you actually do that under trance? And he said, yeah. He said, that's my forte. I said, you gotta be kidding. He said, no. So I thought, oh gee, well, this is going to be an interesting night. So everybody was sitting in their seats around a circle, and Hoyt came around, and he was passing out these little pieces of square cloth. And all he said is just to keep your hand, keep it tight, and have it out in front of you like this, or to have it tight. Okay? That's all you had to do. You didn't have to do anything else. So I said, Hoyt, can I do something first? Now, what I read about spirit cloth is that the medium will trick you into thinking is that spirit, did what they were supposed to do on the cloth itself. So I decided to check the cloth to see if it was, legitimate, like there was nothing, no imprints on the cloth itself or invisible type of ink or anything like that. And I couldn't distinguish, I couldn't tell, and it looked like it was clean. So he had a packet that wasn't opened. So I said, Hoyt, open up the packet that's on the table, so I know is that there's no hanky-panky that's going to go on. Well, he didn't mind, and so he did. So I watched him actually open the packet up. Now, I looked at the same, well, before he opened the packet, I do have to say, before he opened the packet, I made sure that the packet hadn't been cut by a pair of scissors and then re-glued. So I knew there was no hanky-panky with the package itself. Then he opened the packet up, and he took the claws out, and I sat back down in my chair, and he began to pass these this cloth out to everybody, and when everybody had their cloth, the lights were turned out. The lights were turned off, and the room was completely, I mean, completely dark. You couldn't see 2 inches in front of your face. That's how dark it was. Well, anyways, is that Bernard, my friend started to go into trance, and before long, his spirit guide came in, who was Chief Joseph. Now, I did some research on Chief Joseph, and I did find out that there was an actual chief that existed during the Indian Wars, and he tried to make peace with the cavalry. Very interesting man. So anyways, Chief Joseph came in and he's talking, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden some other spirits came in for people. and they said, when a spirit came in for a person, they just said, sit, don't get up, because they were still holding the cloth tightly in their fingers, like and stretched outward like this. And the spirit would say, "Do you begin to feel anything?" And the person would answer back, "Yeah, it feels like there's like a tug going on." So everybody in the room started to say, "Yeah, I can start to feel a tug. I can start to feel a tug myself." And I said to the person to the left and to the right of me, I said, "Are you feeling anything?" "Yeah, Clark." "Are you?" "Yeah, Clark." I said, "Well, so am I, son of a gun." So anyways, it was getting that time for Spirit to leave and let Hoyt and our host astral body come back into their own body. And they had what they called was a little downtime. And then Hoyt got up and he had a flashlight with the red, it was infrared cover, you might say, that they use in the armed forces. And anyways, he's going around and he's showing everybody what was on their cloth. So when they came to me, I happened to see, and was I surprised? I said, "Oh, gee, criminy sakes, was I surprised?" And Hoyt said, "Is not to wrap it, to roll it up lightly, and he gave everybody a rubber band and said, and put the rubber band, and tomorrow morning you can unfurl and look at the cloth." And remember, I said there's 2 ways a spirit can make contact. What I'm about to show you is actual something I don't know if you ever saw before. Like I said, I never seen it done, but I read about it. Everybody always wants to know what their guides look like, because they never materialize themselves. Okay? They never materialize themselves because it takes up too much energy. And spirit has to have a lot of energy to make the transformation from a orb to ectoplasm into a full or a partial materialization of showing itself. Usually if you happen to see a materialization, it's always from the head, maybe shoulders, but never the full body. But everybody always said, "Gee, I wish I would know what my spirit guides or my teachers or master teachers look like." Ladies and gentlemen, oops, try not to, let's see. There we go. Don't know if you can see if I can pull it back without a glare. There is what actual spirit looks like. This is actual spirit from the creation of ink. If I remember now, I gotta remember. All right. This one here is a doctor, chemistry. His name is Dr. Browning. This one over, this goofy looking guy here I think this goofy looking guy here, I think is what we call is a wind sprite from the element of air. This woman here, I have no idea. Again, I have no idea. The one down, oops, see if you can see her without trying to get away from, there we go, trying to get away from the glare. Okay, there we go. The one down here, oops, right here, I have no idea, but I do know the one in the middle. And this is what really caught me off guard. The one in the middle is my dad, who died 2 months before Hoyt came to visit this friend of mine. I never met Hoyt in my life. When I showed this to my mother, she was just, how should I say, is that she started crying. Because she said, that looks exactly like your dad. And I said, yes, it does. This was the first time that Hoyt came to visit this friend of mine. So he gives me a call, this friend of mine gives me a call again. And he says, Hoyt's back in town and he wants to have another seance. He said it was so well that he wanted to do it again. And I said, well, yeah, I'd be happy. I said, yeah, I'd be happy to, yeah, I'd be happy to come. So it was on a Friday night, and I did. Well, it happened again to where he was going to have the spirit circle, and again we had another session with our spirit guides, teachers, and oops, trying to get away. Let's see if I can do it too. There we go. With our guides, teachers, master teachers, and relatives and whoever. Okay. The one, let's see here. This is it's not really a good picture, but that's my Indian guide, Chief Eagle Feather, and I looked him up, and there was a real Chief Eagle Feather. Okay. This young lady here is a wind sprite. Her name is Daisy. You might call her a joy guide or the guardian of the gate. She's the one, or they are the ones that allow spirit to come through. It's like she's directing traffic. Okay. I have no idea who this person is, or who this person is, or if I can, or let's see, there you go, or who this person is right here. And I don't think, I think there might be, is there? No. Okay, so like I said, there is the two that I do know, which is Daisy, which is Chief Eagle Feather, and also for Daisy right there. Now I do have a lot of contact with Daisy when I actually go into meditative trance. Now I said, I should have actually said there's 3 ways that they can contact you. So I'm going to say 3 before I get to actually the 3rd and most important way. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes is that spirit spirit likes to give little gifts once in a while. If you've been good, it's like, the old expression is, if you're good, Santa will be good to you by bringing you a lot of presents. Well, spirit, your guide, teacher, master teacher, or a relative, or your family member might ask you to come up to the trumpet, and you hold your hands like this in front of the opening, and all of a sudden you hear like a tee 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 boink, and all of a sudden something's fallen into your hand. All right. So then you just take it and you thank the spirit, and you go back to your seat if you can find it, because it's, like I said, it's so damn dark in the room. And then after the session is over with and the lights turn on, you go, oh, what did you get? Oh, wow, that's neat. And usually what they give you, it's a symbol. It's supposed to represent something with you and nobody else. All right? For an example, one of my apports is a little seashell, colored gold. Just like that. Okay? The best one I ever got was from my master teacher named C. Hiram Abiff, who was the builder of the temple who was the architect and also the builder of the Temple of Solomon. Yes, there was actually a C. Hiram Abiff. Now, a lot of people that go up, how should I say this, go against Masons will say that the Masons are a Masonic, satanic order. But that's not true. And by the way, the Jews did not create the temple. And by the way, the Jews never created the organization. It was actually Methodist way back. So I just let you know about that. Okay. Now, a lot of people will probably disagree with me, but then again, do your research. Yes, Jews can join because of C. Hiram Abiff. All right. But like I said, is that the order of the Masons actually went back centuries. In fact, with the Knights Templar, with the I'm trying to think who else real quick in my mind. The Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta. All right. The Masons were around, but actually the Masons were called the Masons because that's what they did for a living. They were Masons. They knew how to build. Everything in Washington, by the way, was built by the Masons. Your high-rises were built by the Masons. Amazing, isn't it? And yet, they're satanic. It's a satanic order. It's not. But that's what some people believe. Oh, the Masons are the New World Order. They're going to take over the world. Don't believe it. That's the boogeyman. And there ain't no boogeymen. All right? Ain't no boogeymen. All right? Anyways, um, the best gift I ever got, and I'm really kind of teed off about it, even as today, and this one goes back 20, 15, 16, 17, about 20 years ago, is that I got a nice gift from C. Hiram, a Biff. Now, I'm not going to get up to show you, so I'm going to take the studio camera here, and I'm going to aim for the wall. You see in the middle that key? That key I received from C. Hiram, a Biff, coming out of a small trumpet, which was impossible to get it through like the mouthpiece. But that's not the original key. Believe it or not, it's not the original key. My uncle taught American history and was an art teacher. So he said to me, he said, you know, Clark, I will take that key, which was brass, pure brass. That I'll take the key and I'll fix it nice. I'll put it in a case for you and all that. And I had doubts, and I said I had, for some reason, I had damn doubts, but I relinquished and I said, okay, I want to see it real nice. And he said he'd do it. I didn't hear from him for a couple of weeks. So finally he decides to come out and visit. And he hands me the box. And I look and I said, that's not the original key. I said, what happened to the key that I gave you? And he told me is that he got so busy that he put the key on his desk in the classroom, and some student stole it because of the pure brass. So he wanted to try to make amends, and he tried to remember what the key looked like, so he made me a replica, which I really couldn't blame him, but I could, because he was foolish to leave the damn key on the desk. But every time I go into trance, I always tell C. Hiram, you know, I keep apologizing to him all the time about it, and sometimes he doesn't let me forget. But anyways, I asked him when I received it, I said, what does that key represent to me? And he says, the keys to the mysteries. And when people heard that in the room, they all went, just like that. And then dead silence. So that's another way that spirit can make contact with you, by giving you little presents, or big presents, or nice presents. So, second way. Now, I had to explain this to you. What you're going to see might be a little grainy, and I'll tell you the reason why is because when these were taken, they were taken years ago they were recorded, I should say, on a VHS, and I transferred it to DVDs, but the DVDs started to take their toll. And I tried to do the best I could to fix those DVDs, as to show you my little film that I want to present. So I'm going to turn the studio camera around. Okay. Yes, I'm going to try to get up here a little bit closer. Just like that. All right. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to be talking at the same time I'm going to try to show you. All right. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut this. Okay. I was going to get rid of this. Going to get rid of that, and I'm going to go. Wah. And I got and I got the times here, so I don't have to screw around going through the whole recording. I mentioned my camera that I got from this friend of mine from St. Louis, and I told you it was how should I say um, broadcast quality, and it was infrared. I think it's a lot. I think is that the camera I have is a lot better than the IR cameras that are out on the market, and I'm going to show you the reason why. Okay. Now, like I said, I got the. Okay. Now here's me. All right. Now here's me in my little hovel where I was living. So I decided to see if there was if any of my spirit guides, teachers, master teachers, or family members, how should I say, uh, drop in. And you'll see in just a moment here. Now remember I said is that orbs? Now remember I said is that orbs? There's three stages. You have the orb itself, then you have the ectoplasm, and then you have the materialization. Well, what you're going to see here, there it is. Did you see it? Right here. I'm going to be showing this in a little bit slower motion, but right here, see, right here, as you can see right here, this is actual ectoplasm, which means is the spirit guide or whomever was beginning to transform from the orb to the ectoplasm and into the apparition. But there was not enough energy in the room to cause the apparition, so it got just as far as the ectoplasm. Now you're going to see again. I'm going to try to get a little bit slower, where it comes through the ceiling. All right, it comes through the ceiling, and then boom, there it is, right there. Did you see it? There, right here. Don't know why. This light here is from the camera. All right. See it one more time. There it is. See it? Right here. Right here it is. And you saw where it came. Now if you look here, do you see any type? There it is again. Right at the bottom here. All right. So, and do you see any wings? See again. I think I do it a little bit slower. I tried to get it as slow as I could before getting out of not out of frame, but to where it became too damn grainy. All right. See if we can do it. See if I did it one more time. Oops. Okay. I guess that takes care of that one. So we'll stop here. Okay. We don't need that. Okay. We'll stop here. Now the second one here, like I said, is where you see a lot of orbs. All right, there we go. Okay, I have to get the time here at 1:45, so I think it's in here, no, 280, 28. Okay, let's see, what is it? 145? Can't be at 145. What did I know? 109. It's almost like at the beginning. 145 to 150 feet. That can't be right. Oh, 1 hour. I'm sorry. I gotta go. I keep looking. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes because I did a 3 hour on this one. So if you, what I'm trying to do here, this is when I lived in Boca. This is when I lived in Boca. Yes, I do have I have all my fingers on both hands, by the way. This is when I was in Boca, and you have to look very quick here. I tried to slow this down, but orbs move so fast that it's almost impossible um, to keep going. You know, like reversing and then putting it in back, putting in forwards again. So I'm going to go to 1 hour and 45 minutes. If you excuse me for a moment.
It's this.
Okay, I'm just about close. Okay, here 1 hour and 45. Let's see, 137, 141. Oh, I'm at the 147 mark. Okay, we're going to stop at one. Okay, I'm going to go to 143. All right. There we go. Nope. Okay. There we go. Okay. Here in the next for the next few minutes, it's only about 6, but it's the greatest 6 that I could find out of all the DVDs that I transferred to. There goes one. Did you see it? Like I said, you got to watch fast. I hear I'm talking. All right. As you can see here, there's 3 sheets of paper. I was ready to go into trance and into medium mystic trance because I knew I knew is that the guides teachers, the master teacher was around me that night. It was a great night for friends to really come in. And you will see here, like I said, just for a few minutes, you're going to see orbs flying all over the place. All right. Oop, did you see it? One went this way, one went that way. See, I went backwards. So I tried to capture the best I could. Oh, there goes one. Did you see it? And there goes another one. You see it? I had big ones come in. I had big ones come in. I had small ones come in, and I think the small ones were more of the elemental. Oops, there goes another one. The smaller ones were like the fairies, the pixies from the air element. And the bigger ones were naturally like guides, teachers, master teachers. There goes one. You see it right here? Okay. Like I said, yeah, I tried to slow it down the best I could without before it got too grainy. So there, did you see that one? It went kind of this way. There's one right there. Did you see it? Came from here, went into the cabinet. There's another one right there. You see it? Right there. Here I am looking there. Did you see that one that's over here? That kind of just went zip like that? Like I said, they were around that night. And that's the reason why I was going to go into medium mystic trance and try to get one of them to write their name on one of the pieces of paper. There's another one. See it? Right there. Let's see here. Just a few more. Yeah, there's another one. Now this one you can see right there. You see, there's the inside of the orb itself or the vehicle. But as you can see right there. And sometimes they want you to see them inside their vehicle, just like we roll down our window when we're driving, to get the fresh air, and also to maybe talk to somebody or wave at people as well. And that's what they do. Now, some people say you can see some people say you can see the faces. That might be true. Um, I never caught the faces. Okay, never caught the faces. But this came from the first camera that I received from this friend of mine from St. Louis. This wasn't an experiment. This wasn't an experimental. There goes another one. You see it? It came right coming this. It came from in this direction, going there. Again, you see it again in slow motion. Okay, you see me walking? Right there it is. And you see this one's even pulsating. Okay? There goes another one, went this way. Like I said, it was such a great night. So like I said, is that they do come in, spirit does come in. There it is. There it is again. You see how it's pulsating, and there's another one that's following me. I'm moving it. It's moving in the same direction I am. Again, I think I put this in. Yes. No. Did I in slow motion? Oh, there goes another one right there. That came. There goes another one. Now they're moving a little. Now they're moving a little bit faster, and they believe me. They can move. I have always mentioned that if you want to try to capture spirit or orbs, is don't keep your camera, your IR camera stationary. Pan it, okay? Pan it. So you do capture. If you just leave it stationary, you might capture one if it's traveling in that particular direction to cross the camera eye itself. So you get that capture. But I always say slowly pan, because that's how you're going to capture, or that's how you're going to capture spirit or orbs. All right. I think we're just about done here. Just one minute. Nope, there goes another one. There goes another one. Now that one was a little bit bigger. All right, let me see here. I think we're just about done on this one. Like I said, this was about the best one out of all of them that I took throughout the years. And I was living in, there's another one. Um, um, Orlando. This was my apartment in Orlando, where I worked. So I told my boss the next morning. I said, "Do you know is that Signal Point is haunted?" And she said, "Nah, I don't believe in ghosts." And I happened to show her this particular this DVD. There goes another one. This DVD, and she went, "Oh my God!" She said, "Those are real ghosts?" And I says, "Yes, they are." But not in the sense of like haunting. In that sense, I said those are guides, teachers, and master teachers, or even some family members, and they're always around us, always around us. I think that this might be okay. I think that's it. Nope, there goes another one there. Okay, I think that you've seen. I think that you've seen enough here. Um, so, anyways, that is another way. So, anyways, that is another way of capturing your guides, teachers, master teachers, family members. Okay. Like I said, they're always around us. And they always let you know some way or another is that they're, even if they pass through because they might be doing something else, but they'll usually tell, show you in certain ways. Like I said, it could be um, if somebody in your family smoke pipe or a cigarette or cooking good food, you might get the aroma. You might get that on the cheek or something crawling, like up your neck, or maybe feeling something on your wrist or hand or whatever. Okay, that's the saying is, yep, they're there. Okay, real quick, I see is that we just got a few minutes left here. Is that some of the spirit boxes I noticed has like radar that shows you how many ghosts. Now remember, it just shows, but it doesn't show like I just showed you the reality of. And if you would have counted how many there were, I think that when I did finally quit, I think I counted 12 or 13 or 14 that night that popped in. Okay. Elementals. Do elementals show themselves? Yes, they do. And I'm going to give you, there's a gentleman that I've been talking to for a while. And his name is Kevin Himes, Himes. And if you go to his website, which is Kevin's Experiences, and look up Water ITC, is that you will see that he has done an experiment with water to capture the element of the elementals of water. And he actually shows the faces and like that. He also has done it with laser and steam ITC for the element again with air. So so there are ways that you can capture spirit or elementals. Real quick here, I'll tell you a quick story. Is that this goes back years ago as I was sitting in Boca and at Celestial Vision School, Metaphysical Arts, in my annex room, and this was about 10 o'clock at night, and I was doing some stuff, and I happened to look out through my outdoor pool area through a sliding glass door into my window to look inside the kitchen. Anyway, is that I'm once in a while I would just kind of look up, boom, and I happen to see, watch to see if my wife got out of bed and went, and maybe she got thirsty or something. So I was always watching out for her. Well, about 3-4 times I looked up, and about the fourth time, here I saw a gentleman in a long brown robe. He must have been about maybe 5'9", long beard. He had his hoodie on from the robe, and he held a staff. And I said, that's an elemental of earth. And he didn't, and this elemental didn't stay long. Well, anyways, I'm telling a friend of mine a few days later, and I said, hey, Zeph. His name was Zephyr, and I said, hey, Zephyr, I had a very interesting experience a couple of days ago. And he said, what? I said, well, I happened to see a earth elemental standing in the middle of my kitchen, in my kitchen floor. He says, you gotta be kidding. I said, no. He said, did it have a long brown robe, wearing the hoodie, long white beard, holding a staff? And I looked at him, and I never had chills, but when he mentioned that, I actually had chills run up my spine. I said, yeah. He said, what time did you think that you saw this person or this elemental? And I said, I think it was around 10 o'clock. He said, well, mine, when I happened to see mine, the same one, it was about quarter after 10. And I went, whoa. So, like I said, they do pop in once in a while. I'll be talking more about elementals later on when I open up another door to the unknown. But my producer is giving me the high sign, and he's telling me I got about 30 seconds here. So I am going to say I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you enjoyed Chapter 4 of opening the doors to opening doors to the unknown. And I'm going to take a break for a day or two because I cranked out 4 of these, and I'm tired. But there's some really good stuff coming up. So until next time, enjoy. This has been a production of Opening the Doors to the Unknown in association with Dr. Clark Schmidt. Copyright 2016.